Good morning, Your Honour, and the members of the jury. My name is JRYAN, and I'm here to represent the accused in the case, John Simmons. Today I intend to prove that my client, John Simmons, is not guilty of the charge of manslaughter, nor is he guilty of the death of Andrew Clark. Please think about this. You're on the sidelines of the pool with the smell of chlorine in the air when you see Andrew Clark skimming through the water at a good speed, and then you start to think about how poorly you performed in the race before. Should you have kicked your feet a little faster or made bigger strokes? When the race you were half watching finishes and you look up to the scoreboard to see a 17-year-old boy named Andrew Clark has taken your place on the swim team, how would this make you feel? It would make you feel disappointed, empty, and upset. And these are all normal emotions. In Section 23 of the Queensland Criminal Code, it states that manslaughter is caused by a person who unlawfully kills another under such circumstances not to constitute murder is guilty of manslaughter. My client, John Simmons, did not act in a harmful or reckless manner that could have caused the sad and untimely death of Andrew Clark. Andrew Clark had boasted, ridiculed, and embarrassed my client about losing his place on the swim team. A somewhat heated discussion took place between these two swim team friends. This argument finished with Andrew Clark intentionally grabbing his cricket bat out of his bag and purposely swinging at my client in an angry and an incredibly dangerous manner. Andrew Clark chose to chase after my client. While he was pursuing John Simmons, Andrew Clark tripped and fell to his death down an embankment. This was a tragedy. However, it was not the result of my client's actions. Indeed, when he saw what happened, John called an ambulance for Andrew Clark immediately. In Section 23 of the Queensland Criminal Code, it states that an accident is caused by a person who does not intend or foresee a possible consequence. It was an accident when Andrew Clark fell. My client had no idea that something like this could occur. It was not reasonably foreseeable that Andrew Clark would trip and fall to his death. Your Honour, and the ladies and gentlemen of this jury, I ask you, at the end of this trial, please consider the evidence that has been put forward before you today. John Simmons is not guilty of the outcome of the events that occurred on this tragic day. He had no intention to cause any harm to Andrew Clark, but instead he ran away from him. It is clear that when Andrew Clark tripped, John Simmons called an ambulance. Such was his concern for Andrew Clark's well-being. The intention of my client was to remove himself from this nasty argument with Andrew Clark. He did this by running away from the confrontation. He could not envision the peak of anger Andrew Clark would chase him, trip, and sadly fall to his death. In the face of this compelling evidence, I ask you to record a verdict of not guilty for my client, John Simmons. Thank you for your close attention to my presentation of the evidence in this case.